Hey, this is Marc, Katz, dating coach for smart, strong, successful women. Your personal trainer for love. Welcome back to the Love You podcast, where you're going to learn about dating, relationships, and men, everything you need to know to make good decisions for the rest of your life. Today's episode is called The Relationship That Won't Die. I've got a story for you. In the meantime, before I tell you about my story, I want to share a couple things. Number one, if you enjoy this podcast, please give us a positive review on Apple or Spotify. Please subscribe. Please share it with a friend who needs this. I can't think of a single woman who couldn't benefit from these conversations. Also want to mention that the past few podcasts have been really, really well received. I don't know if I'm doing anything differently. Maybe I'm a little more sincere than I've been in the past. We're talking all about love you. Right now, I'm not worried about it. I literally just want to talk to you on the phone and figure out how I can help you solve your problem, because that's the thing that feeds me the most. So those people who want to have that conversation, we'll mention the link again at the end. But it is evanmarckatz.com/now. So I'd love to talk to you and figure out how we can solve your biggest problems. Before we get to that, the story for today is about the relationship that won't die. And I think this is something that affects a lot of people. People come to my coaching often either with dead-end boyfriends where they know it's not going to last, or they have a relationship that they're still holding on to, mourning the sort of high water mark in their life, and that relationship, the existence of that guy, is not allowing them to move forward. So think about all the versions of the relationship that won't die. There are many. It's the ex-boyfriend that you can't get over. It's the unrequited crush that you just can't quit. It's the married friend who continues to capture your imagination. It's the on-again, off-again relationship that you keep coming back to. It's the unhappy relationship that you just don't have the courage to leave. That's a lot of use cases, and I'm sure you're familiar with more than one of them. I'm familiar with more than one of them, and I haven't dated for nearly 20 years. So the way I get into this is, I think there's something universal, which is why I'm going to tell you a personal story. I had, and everybody has this, I had a crush from the summer, this shows how old I am, summer of 1988. And I had a girlfriend, and by the end of the summer, I realized I liked my crush more than I liked my girlfriend, but I couldn't say anything, so I waited till the end of the summer, and I declared my love, and this is my junior year of high school. I declared my love, and it was received, but not entirely reciprocated. And then, like nice guys do, I became best friends with her. Have you ever had like a best friend that you had a crush on? So this went back and forth for years, decades. There was a time that she had a crush on me and I was taken. There was a time I had a crush on her. She was taken. I was older than her. We went to different colleges. I graduated first. The one time we slept together was after I graduated college. But it got really weird and we went back to being friends. And so I referred to her as my When Harry Met Sally girl. Right? That's the way I saw the relationship. It was the one day when we're 30, if things haven't worked out for us, we're going to give this relationship a shot. And we took different paths. I went to LA. She stayed in New York. We stayed in touch intermittently, often came back together. She was really there for me when my dad died in my mid-20s and was a very good friend to me. And then one day, I swear to God, I was in my early 30s, I hear from her, and she's getting married, and she's marrying another guy named Evan. You cannot make this up. And she asked me if I wanted to go to the wedding. And I said, I want to be a bigger man. I want to support you. I can't go stag to a wedding where you're marrying another guy named Evan. We have like a 15-year history. That's too much for me, but I wish you well. I hope it works out. It did not, friends, work out. And so she breaks up with Evan, and then she calls me and says, so we always said that we'd give a relationship a shot. Now I'm 31. We'd always say we'd give a relationship a shot if we were both single at 30. And I had a serious girlfriend at the time, and I said, I don't really want to be your safety school. I mean, it's really nice. I've always thought about it, but I don't want to be your safety school. And so we put the kibosh on that one. Fast forward a few more years, right? She gets engaged to a guy she met on eHarmony. Online dating works. I have a serious girlfriend, and she invites me to the wedding, and I say, I'm going to go to the wedding. I'm telling you this whole story. I don't know why. I decide I'm going to go to the wedding, and I don't know anybody, so I invite my girlfriend, and then my Harry Met Sally crush says, you can't bring a plus one. And I was like, what do you mean I can't bring a plus one? I was like, I literally already booked a hotel room and a ticket, right, and a flight for the two of us. Why would you expect me to leave my serious girlfriend at home? Well, I didn't invite you with a plus one. So that was the end of our relationship functionally. We've texted over the years. The reason I share this is, in retrospect, right, deep retrospect, there were so many things wrong that I couldn't see, and I'm not blaming her, right? This is the whole point of the relationship that won't die. There are so many problems with it that you've just normalized. You just think it's part of the struggle, and you've lost sight of the fact that good relationships are easy. It should not be this hard, this yo-yo, on again, off again, push, pull, maybe, maybe not, right? Kind behavior, cruel behavior. It doesn't resemble anything healthy. So I'm not saying anything bad about her. From what I understand, she's happily married, has a family. I like her. I have nothing but good things to say about her. But we tried so hard to make things work, and I realized, I was putting her up on a pedestal. I couldn't even see her flaws for these years. Right now that I'm happily married and I coach other people, I could see. Which again, not to angrily blame her. She has issues. We all have issues, right? So I wanted to be compatible so bad. I wanted to try so hard to make things work, and all the evidence was, this is not getting off the ground, buddy. Like, I don't know how many signs from God you need to know that this is not your person, right? But I didn't want to admit it because I had such an emotional investment. I had such a belief that if we gave this a shot, it would work, right? And that's a story I told myself. And we both had relationships over the years, but I put, nearly 2 decades into this relationship where from day one, it was kind of obvious that we were not meant to be. It was just a crush, and it took up a long portion of my life. And I share that story, I know it was long-winded, to ask you to reflect. Do you have someone like that in your life? Right? Have you had someone like that in your life? The one that got away. The boyfriend that you still love despite the fact that he treated you poorly. Right? The high school guy that befriended you on Facebook and is suggesting you do some sort of long distance thing. Most people have something like this, and it's a time waster. So I want to tell a more pointed story about a client of mine right now. She's in her late 60s. I adore her. I'm working more and more with middle-aged and older women now that I'm 51. When I was in my 30s, my clients were younger. As I get older, my clients get older. So this is an amazing 69-year-old woman. And she came to me last year because she knew that the relationship she was in would not die. But she still wanted to make it work, as we do. When we have the fantasy, when we have the dream, you literally have to pry your fingers off of that. And so she signed up for, a class of mine, and then she kind of went her own way, and then she came back. Why? Because she's 69. She's never been married. And she knows that this guy she's enamored with, and I don't ask all the details, but I'm pretty sure they have a relationship that is probably a sexual relationship. But this guy has never been her boyfriend. Harkens back to last week's episode with 5 signs you could tell a guy's not serious about you. So here's a woman who's 69 years old, never married, right, and sinking 1.5 years, 2 years into a guy who pretty much has made it clear, I don't want to get married, and I don't want to commit to you. But I like you, and I'm glad to see you, and I'll see you on my terms. And she just lapped it up. Right? Why? Because it was the best thing that she had going. It's like being in a desert for a really long period of time, and well, yeah, you're going to take the first drink of water, the first piece of bread that they serve. You're not going to hold out for something better. If you've been alone for a very, very long time, if someone is giving you a dose of attention and affection, you take it, or that's what you're inclined to do. The problem is now you get anchored on that. Right? With the person who's already made clear from their actions that they don't want you in the long run, or don't want the relationship that you want in the long run. And once again, it gets harder and harder to divest from that relationship. And so she signs up for coaching, this 69-year-old woman, and it happens all the time. Even though my course says don't do any dating for the first 7 weeks, we recommend sort of a reboot to regain your confidence, regain your perspective, let some of the negativity about dating relationships and men go. We always take a little bit of a pause. She was, while we were coaching, seeing this guy on the side, just not telling me, which is okay, happens here. All right. And then recently we were on a coaching call and she confessed this to me because we were up to the point in our work together where I pay for her photos. I make her fill out a questionnaire and write an online dating profile for her. I mean, I really go to the mat for my clients. So we're ready to launch and get her a whole new batch of men, and she's kind of dragging her feet. Why do you think she's dragging her feet? It's because of the relationship that won't die. Right? She really, really wants this to work out. We had to get on a coaching call. We had to get on face to face. And I had to have the come to Jesus conversation with her, which is, this isn't working out. Right? Not because I say so, it's because you're telling me. You told me he's not your boyfriend after 2 years. You told me you want to get married and he doesn't. So I know you like him. I know there's trust and love and affection and that you don't know who's going to replace him. But none of those reasons are the reason to stay with him because he is impeding our ability to move forward. Right? Every second you're with the wrong guy or thinking of the wrong guy is a second you're not out there looking for the right guy. So this guy's an obstacle to our success. But high watermark theory, he's the best she's done. All right? The best relationship she's had is a cute, intelligent, wealthy, charismatic man who absolutely, positively doesn't want to commit to her. So once again, we raise the bar higher. We have to. We have no choice. Otherwise, you could squander your whole life. Right? I was young when I squandered a couple of decades on a woman. I learned the hard way, as we all do. Sure, it took me a long time. That's why I have no, judgment on anybody who has a relationship that won't die. But I will point out to you that you've had enough life experience to know what a healthy relationship looks like. And if your relationship is one that you're constantly second guessing and wondering, where is this going? What's happening? Where do we stand? We need to talk. I don't know what's... Please, just look in the mirror and ask yourself, is this relationship making you feel safe, heard, and understood? Is this man exhibiting all forms of character, kindness, consistency, communication, and commitment? And if the answer is no, why is he still there? Why are you still holding on to him? And what purpose is it serving? Is it serving you the purpose of hiding as long as you keep this low stakes situationship going? You tell yourself that it's better than nothing? Because it's not. That relationship, you're comparing every single person to him, and you're not really doing much proactive dating if you have that guy in the picture. So, love you saying, he's not the last man on earth. Right? He's not. It might feel that way. It might feel like a desert. You might feel like you're getting older. You might feel like you can't do better. I promise you, you can do better. Right? You wouldn't be listening to this. You wouldn't be on my mailing list. Right? Hopefully you're on my mailing list, evanmarckatz.com/dating if you're dating, evanmarckatz.com/relationships if you're in a relationship, evanmarckatz.com/break if you're taking a break. So if you're in this situation, you don't listen to me, you don't hire me if your relationship is worth preserving. I tell that story all the time. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've never had a woman come to me with a guy who ended up with the guy she came with. Because people in happy relationships don't hire dating coaches, and people in happy relationships probably don't go out seeking too much dating and relationship advice. You might, but if your relationship was good, it would be a lot easier. You wouldn't feel so anxious. You wouldn't second guess yourself. You wouldn't go online and follow a bunch of influencers trying to teach you strategies. All right, so just remember, listen to your feelings. I can't emphasize it enough. And this is what we do. All right, we hold up the mirror to you in coaching so you can see yourself. It took this woman, right, 2 years to hire me, and a few months of coaching to even admit to me that she was still seeing the guy that she was seeing before. So don't put yourself in that position. You deserve to have a great relationship. That's what life is all about. There's no better predictor of your happiness than your marital status if you're in a happy relationship. And I want you to have it. I have it. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. All right. And I want you to feel like you are the luckiest woman in the world. And if you have it all, and you have the friends and the hobbies and the pets and the home, and there's one thing that's missing, please reach out to me. My name is Marc Katz. This is the Love You Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to share with a friend. Feel free to give us a positive review on Apple or Spotify. Make sure you subscribe wherever you could subscribe, including YouTube. And if indeed you want more, right, higher quality men, safer relationship, struggling with online dating, struggling with confidence to know that you can get this thing that I spend so much time talking about, please go to evanmarckatz.com/now and apply to talk to me. And we'll have a great conversation, and we'll figure out if you're a good fit for coaching. And I've got more coaching options now than I ever have before. It's not just for rich women, I promise you. I look forward to speaking with you soon. And till next time, bye-bye.